Dr. Worry here doing another video on the use of SmartScore64 NE Pro to digitize music. We're going to look here in this video on creating a conductor score from individual parts, multi-measure rests, correcting first and second endings, and fixing XML output with multi-measure rests. From earlier videos, you know that what we were doing is we were using SmartScore64 by importing conductors scores and then fixing each line. Well, you can also go ahead and import individual parts, correct those parts individually, and then combine them into a conductor score for output. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Here's the score we're going to be working with very quickly. It's basically two clarinet parts, a single PDF file of 4 pages. The first 2 pages are clarinet 1, second 2 pages are clarinet 2. We're going to have SmartScore bring in all of these pages, but then assign them to clarinet 1 and clarinet 2. So let's go ahead and browse files. Go find the files we want. There we go. Open them. Select a threshold. It looks good enough as it is. Click OK. Go ahead and start recognition of all of the pages. No need to make any changes. So now in the begin recognition, we can take page 1 and page 2, which are the first clarinet parts, group them to score. Clarinet 1. Okay. Take pages 3 and 4, group them to score. Clarinet 2, which then takes the pages and assigns them to different parts, as you can see. I always uncheck the text box, and we'll begin recognition. Okay. We'll go ahead. We will not unify key signatures. We'll save it. I'll save it on my downloads just in case. Okay. Go ahead and blow it up a little bit. All right. So the first thing we notice is that it got the multi-measure rests wrong in the first clarinet part. So we need to change that from 2 to 4. So go ahead here and collect symbol selection, rests, and multi-measure rests, and let's give it 4. Now often what I do is I fix them all at the same time, so I go through both the first and the second clarinet part. So that's supposed to be 3 there, but it's got some little weird notes there, but watch what happens. It replaces them except for a little caret thingy there. Let's make that go away. Okay, hit escape. 2 and 3, so this should be 3. Fix that. I'm just fixing all the multi-measure rests right now. That should be, well, this one's a little more complicated. So we need to actually add a bar line here and now fix these multi-measure rests. Click back to rests, multi-measure rest, click that to 3. See if there's any other multi-measure rests we have to do. Oh, look at this line here. Well, I'm going to come back to that. Let's go back to the beginning, back to the first clarinet part, and just start fixing things up as we go. So I'm not going to worry about slurs and articulations right now. I'm just going to worry about being able to combine the 2 parts into a conductor score. Now what we have to be looking for is to make sure that in fact both parts have the same number of measures and have the same types of bar lines. So first thing we notice here is that should be a double bar line. So I'll go ahead and click on a double bar line. Give it That line looks good. By the way, I'm not fixing any of these double notes because, like I said, we're concentrating on something else here. That line looks good. Oh, look at here. We've got some gadgets here. Clicking X, let's get rid of these notes. Now we see we have two bar lines here. We actually added a measure that didn't belong here and left out the repeat. You can never, well, never is too strong of a word. You should never eliminate a bar line at the beginning of a system. There we go. So we eliminated that bar line. Now we need to add a repeat sign here. So let's do that. But now we've noticed something, don't we? It says it should be measure 25. We've lost a measure somewhere. Well, let's see if we can find it. 8. So far, so good. 14. So far, so good. 20. Oh, there it is. We've got to add a bar line here. Okay. Oh, we have to add a bar line here. So now we're at 25, so we're good there. Bar line. Need to add a bar line here. Now I'm adding the bar line just by hitting the command button and clicking on a bar line, or going up here to the menu and clicking on bar lines and repeats. Okay. Well, this looks pretty bizarre, doesn't it? Looks like there's a whole bunch of notes there. So let's click X till we get the X showing. Make that go away. So we've got a repeat here, but now we have to fix the first and second endings. How do we do that? Well, here in the bar lines and repeats tab, we have the beginning of a repeat. So let's show you how this works. I'm going to click this and go here. Select ending sequence. Number 1 is correct. Okay, but look what happens to the cursor. It changes to the end of the first repeat. So now it's got, you'll see in first repeat ending with a repeat sign. Highlight it, click it. And now you'll see the cursor changes to be the beginning of the second repeat. So let's go here, highlight, click. It asks me to select the ending sequences. 2 is correct. Click OK. And now we have a first and a second repeat that is accurate. We don't have the right number of beats in this measure. So let's go ahead and click on the quarter rest and make it a 16th rest like it's supposed to be. See? Looks good here. Once again, I'm not looking at notes now. Okay? Into the second page of Clarinet 1. Up, this needs to be a 16th rest. Remember, the yellow bars are not full. And once again, we're not fixing these notes right now for the purposes of this tutorial. This looks right. Moving to the key of A. Looks like here we need a bar line. Command, click the bar line. Click the bar line in place. Looks like we're missing a quarter note here. Command, click on a quarter note. Add it. Go over here, pick up a sharp. Add a sharp. Once again, we're not fixing the slurs right now. And we need to add a bar line here. So command, click, add a bar line. By the way, when you command click on a note or something here to click, it changes the symbol selection page for you. So let's go back and make sure. See right here? There needs to be a repeat there. We didn't catch it going through. Let's go ahead and put a repeat there. Okay. So here we got a first ending and a second ending, but no repeat. So we repeat our process. We grab the beginning of the repeat, click on the bar line. It is correct. It makes it the end. It changes it to the end of the repeat. We click that. It changes it to the beginning of the second ending. Click that. Second ending is correct. So now we're good. And it looks as if this was changed in the wrong spot. So I think we need to X and we need to delete those. And then we need to come over here and change the change of key here. Key signatures, 0, change. So see how we did that? So now it lines up nicely here. 2, 1, 2. Oh, but look at this here. It's all kind of a mess. This is a good indication because this bar is not yellow. These are kind of oddly contextual text elements, which we'll talk about in a second. But we need to go ahead, control click, command click, put a bar line here, and you'll see it's yellow. Click on this, make it a 16th note rest. So once again, I want to make that point that it didn't see this as being too much because this 2 measures of rest isn't always interpreted correctly within this program. So here we go. Same thing happened here. Let's grab ourselves a bar line. Put it right between those 2 things. We have to change this 2 to 3. Go over here to rests. Click the N. It's 3. Change it to 3. And we're at the end. Now I will tell you that I already know that this piece has 101 measures. Well, we only have 99 measures. For us to create a conductor score, they should all have the same number of measures. So let's see if we can find out where we lost some measures. Well, the score is going to help us, right? Because it gives measure numbers at the beginning of the stage. So 8, 14, 20, 25, 29, 33, 37, 41, 45, 49, 55, 59, get rid of that little guy there, 63, 67, there it is, missed it the first time around. Okay, so we can go ahead and put a bar line here. Command bar line, click, grab ourselves 2 more measures of rests. Now we should have 101 measures, and we do. All right, now to clarinet 2. So here we are back to needing 4 measures. We got an odd triplet there, which was incorrect, so let's make that go away. We picked up a bar line here we didn't need, but we need a quarter note. So control click on the quarter note, bring it over, give it a sharp. We see we need a bar line there. So command click, add the bar line onto the next measure. Got some weird, I'm just going to get rid of that because it's annoying. We're going to need a bar line here. Command click for the bar line, or you can find it over here sometimes. See, you can find it over here. As we've talked about, many different ways to do the same things. So did we have the repeat? Let's make sure that the repeat is where it needs to be. So there should be a repeat here. Oh, but look, extra measure again. Click the X to remove the measure. Remove it never at the beginning, remove it in the middle. Now we need to add a repeat. Grab the repeat sign. Okay, looks good. And the first and the second endings actually look correct here, so we don't need to do anything with those like we did with the last one. Keep just walking through to see what we can find. Here we have our change. These measures all look good. Up, see here, extra measure. Click X. Get rid of the one that's on the inside. Some extra notes, click X, make them go away. Because the measure is yellow again if there's too many beats or not enough beats. And we need to find, because we have a first and second ending, so right here, oh, look, right here, left out the repeat sign. Let's grab a repeat, throw it in, now we're good. Oops, wrong place. I put it in the wrong place. Command Z, make it go away. Now let's put it in the right place. All right. First measure, but we're without, see, we don't have a repeat measure sign there. So let's go back to our bar lines. Click the first element. Number 1 is correct. Okay. Put the repeat. We get the second ending here, correct? All right, so that's good. Now here, we need to change this to a 16th note. Keep walking through the part. Oh, got to get rid of all these notes. Click X, make them all go away. Need a bar line here. Command click on a bar line, drop it in, and 100, and we're at the end, and we're at 101 measures. Excellent. So let's save our work. So now we have two parts that are, in fact, of equal numbers of measures. All right, let's now take those two parts and bring them into a conductor score. You do that by looking at the score structure. The way you find that is you go to Tools, and you click on Score Structure, or you hit Shift S. So now if you look at the score structure, you see the score part and the parts, and we'll fix these later, by the way. It's acting as if there's two different score parts. Well, you only want one score part. So click on the second part, grab its line, move it up to the top. So now both of these are on a single score. Click this one, remove it, apply it to new, and see what happens here is you now have a second joined conductor score of two parts. So that's how you do it. And if we scroll through, we can see that they end at the same time, which is good. Now here's a problem. If I were to export this as it is into Dorico, because of course in a score structure, you don't have multi-measure rests identified because it all has to line up. But just for the sake of giggles and grins, let's go ahead and export this to a music XML file, and we'll call it test. Okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and open up that XML file in Dorico. And I want to show you what happens. Letting Dorico do its thing. Look what happened. Look how odd this is. All these empty spaces, and what's that? How and why did that happen? Well, some of it has to do with your preferences that you've set in Dorico to open an XML file, But the actual reason, quit Dorico, I don't want to save it. The real reason, oops, come on, quit Dorico, quit, don't save, adios. The real reason is we're in 2/4, aren't we, in this piece? But look, SmartScore made them whole note rests. I know of no way to fix this, but if it's a 2/4 or a 3/4 and you use multi-measure rests, it fills them with whole note rests. That means, of course, that a notation software is going to have a serious problem. So to make it able to be read, you have to now go in and fix each of these whole note rests into half note rests. Well, let's do that. Click on a half note. Click on a half note rest. And let's go fix them. By the way, I cannot find an easy way to do this other than manually. And by the way, you'll see that I'm waiting for the whole note rest to turn yellow to click. Otherwise, it'll put both of them in. So we're just sitting there fixing all of these whole note rests to be the correct half note rest. Let's see if I got them all here. Knowing me, I'll probably miss a couple. And if, by the way, if it turns blue, it'll put it in a different voice, so you have to let it turn yellow. I know, it just takes a few minutes to do it, and I know of no way to do this simply. It just takes time to do it correctly. Wish there was a shortcut, but I don't know of one. Of course, not every piece you're digitizing has this many rests. So I think we've converted them all to the correct numbers. I'm just looking to see here. Oh, looks. I missed some, didn't I? Failing eyes. So I did miss a few. Let's see here. Did I miss any others? All right. So now we have fixed these. Let's go ahead and export it now. Save as a music Excel file, test. Let's open this music Excel file that we've fixed and see what happens. Yes, and now you see that Dorico correctly interprets them as needed. Now, I will tell you that Dorico does not always identify correctly first and second endings. So you'll see here in the piece that the first and second endings are not correctly identified. And you have to fix that in Dorico, but that's a different video, I think. Okay, well, I think that about covers what I wanted to cover. And I appreciate your time, and you can save these as separate documents. Because right now we have both saved. So if I shift S, you'll see that I actually have both of these ENF documents. And of course, you can save this file as you need to work on it later. All right, I think that's about it. Well, thanks much, guys.